It's important to have a conversation with yourself and the subject and ask, how can I capture the movement and feeling of this figure rather quickly? And since we're practicing gestures, we typically have anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes, completely capturing its movement and energy. This is what we'll uncover today in this video. Welcome back to Drawing Drills with Jess. Hello, I'm so happy you made it here. I want to share something I've been loving and practicing these fluid gesture drawings lately as a means to help loosen up, create flow, and continue discipline in my drawing practice. And sharing what's been working in hopes that it'll inspire you too. All you'll need is a sketchbook, a timer, a new purchase I've been loving, and your drawing tool of choice, and a willingness to create and do it for your heart. Alright, so for our first drawing, we're going to start off with a 5-minute pose. I'll have it positioned right here, and let's begin drawing. Alright, so the first thing I like to establish is holding my pencil just like this and not having a detailed grip at the moment. This helps draw from the shoulder and not get too caught up with drawing from the restriction of just your wrist. And I'm looking at the overall direction that I see in this gesture, and she's got almost like a angled, beautiful extension here. So I'm going to express that with my pencil and start to put these marks for myself that are going to help me establish where the leg's going to end. And I'm moving relatively quickly so that I can have a nice flow and movement to the drawing. Having a timer is awesome because it doesn't let you get too caught up in things, and it also doesn't allow you to get stuck. It just forces you to keep moving, keep looking, keep drawing. And it's a great way to practice and a great way to loosen up, especially if you're prone to being a bit more detailed or stuck a little bit on that perfectionism. I sure know we've all been there. I recently purchased this timer and I've been really enjoying using it rather than using my phone, because as soon as the phone is anywhere near the vicinity, there is an immediate distraction. So I've been really liking the physical timer itself. And something I've also been practicing is as soon as I start drawing, I make sure that I set a boundary with myself of not getting distracted. It's something I've been bringing to an awareness, and it really helps to just get all the things that would normally distract off the table and kind of put a time for myself and for my craft and take it very seriously. I've come to believe that when you're creating and practicing, there is that level of fun, there's that level of challenge, and there's that important factor of discipline. And you can't really go about it because that is how we improve, that is how we progress, and we do want to grow and we do want to progress as we go on, right? So as you get into your practice, create a little space for yourself to just have you, your sketchbook, and your practice. I chose this reference for us first because it had a really dynamic, a little bit almost foreshortening here to help us guide the gesture and the motion that we see. I usually practice 30 seconds or 1 minute first, but I do have a separate video on those. All right, and time. Okay, so this is the first drawing. And be gentle with yourself as you start these, because the first drawings that you're always going to do are going to have a little bit more spunk and you may feel rusty, but just be gentle with yourself and have grace. Let's do another one, shall we? Okay, I'm going to rest this way. Let's set another 5 minutes on the clock and let's begin the next drawing. I'm going to turn on the sound so that we know when it's up. Okay, here we go. 5 minutes and let's begin. So I really enjoy choosing certain references because they allow you to really look at the curvature and the movement, almost as if you are the dance teacher and you're telling your hand and trying to convey that beautiful movement that you see. That really helps when you're drawing these and studying so that you can loosen up, get the form, and almost feel the movement through the pencil and onto your paper. Now, since these are 5-minute drawings, you want to make sure you're not getting too stuck too quickly, and it really helps to hold the pencil a little further. It may be hard to control at first, but then it really helps as you're loosening up and getting the quick gestures in, and it almost creates a beautiful line and flow in the finished drawing. As you do more and more of these, it gets better and better. You get more confident, you practice, and it's really all about kind of showing up, right? We can have a lot of resistance when it comes to showing up to our practice, but when we show up to the practice, we're actually so much happier, and it gets so much easier for us to show up once we keep doing it, and we almost show ourselves it's like a part of us, right? Some of these will be sped up for time's sake because we're going to be doing a few of these. But if you'd like some real-time footage, you can check out Patreon. But regardless, you are more than welcome to follow along and enjoy together. Sometimes it's even more fun to partake in an activity with someone. Okay, time. Alrighty, here is the next one. Getting a little warmed up. Yeah, we've got to, little note to Jess. We've got to not neglect those hands, and that's a note to you at home. Don't neglect those hands. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's keep the hand moving. Okay, I'm gonna give myself another 5 minutes. Our next reference is up, and let's begin. Really focusing on that flow right now. So I really like to also think about the energy of the drawing, and if it's a dancer or an action sport or whatever that I see in front of me, what is the energy and action and movement it's conveying? Sometimes it'll start off with these flowy lines, and I'm going to try to simplify this one and see how I can keep moving and keep studying in a different way, in a different light, but also keeping the form and simultaneously just exploring. Sometimes less is more, and it's really relevant when we just slow down. I noticed myself getting a little caught up in my head in those first two, but nonetheless, they are part of the practice, and every part of the practice is welcome, right? Even if we don't like a drawing, or maybe we love it, every single one is part of it, and every single one is there to teach us and show us something, right? There's a beautiful line of action here on the leg that's almost at an angle, and there's a beautiful energy going up this way, and there's a little bit of a bend here. So I'm conveying that in my line. I highly recommend picking topics also that you personally love. I have a dance background and absolutely love ballet and any expressive dance, really. So this is a topic that is just so much fun for me to draw, and I enjoy it. I enjoy to study it. So whether you love football or maybe you love tennis and you want to study some tennis players in action, choose something that you really enjoy, and it's going to make your practice that much better and fun, and it'll be so worth it. Kind of like the simplicity in the fingers here. I might just keep them as like silhouettes just so I get the form in. I'd like to take a quick moment and thank today's sponsors, Squarespace. This is the all-in-one platform for you to hold your shop or your portfolio. I personally decided to include everything in my website and also some tutorials over on Patreon. Their award-winning templates make it super easy, super user-friendly, and the fact that anyone can kind of just drag and drop and it already looks seamless and beautiful saves you a lot of time. Even someone who may not be tech savvy, they make it super simple for you to give it a try, play around, and see how the setup works. Give it a try by going to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/JessCarp for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you, Squarespace, for being a supporter and lover of the channel. Here's the next drawing. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're making some progress. Can't help myself but add just a bit of line after. Sometimes I actually like to put the reference away after I finish drawing and add some expressive marks that I feel would really bring it home. And I always welcome that if I feel like there's an intuitive wanting to do this. I don't kind of shy it away. I just give myself a moment to add whatever I feel feels right, and then it is time to do the next one. Alright, so for this next one, I'm going to put a timer for 10 minutes. And that's going to give us a little bit more time to develop the drawing, but also if I finish a little bit early, I'm going to just start the next one as well. Sharpen the pencil. Timer has already started, so I should be drawing. All right, let's do it. Okay, finished a little bit before the timer went off. It's literally about to go off like any second now, but I am so happy with this one. I had more time not to neglect. Oh, there goes the timer. I had more time not to neglect those hands, and I'm pretty satisfied with the 10-minute drawing that came out of this one. I'm telling you, it takes a few of these to start with and practice with at the very beginning, and then that helps you kind of build that next drawing. Everyone you start with is like a little warm-up, and then it builds up, and we create even more confidence. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, this next one will be another 10-minute pose. However, I'm going to include a second figure and try to use the red and the blue to symbolize both. So let's see how that goes.
Down in the valley where the roots lay low and the river bends while while the water flows. You were laying down with your toes exposed on a rock you found with the morning's warmth. Oh, I'm glad that I found you. Oh, I'm glad that I found you. I'll call you on the boulevard to tell you, love, that I'm not too far from home, where I can hold you in my arms and play you songs on my old guitar. Oh, I'm glad that I found you. Oh, I'm glad that I found you. Oh, I'm glad that I found you.
All right, a little secret is that this is my second time drawing this reference. I had an idea for a story that I made on an Instagram post that you may be familiar with if you follow me on there, but I thought this reference just evoked a great story and a perfect opportunity to express feelings through drawings.
Oh, I'm glad that I found you.
Something I had fun playing around with in these sketches was combining blues and reds and how the exchange of the dance would morph the colors into when I'm drawing. As I was making these sketches, through these gestures, I was already thinking of painting ideas. I've just been fascinated by this subject and I really feel deeply through it. And I really wanted to capture that motion through the reds and the blues that morph together. So I was just using the color and the motion so much so that my pencil fell out of my hand. But yeah, that's how that energy flow through the drawings. For the next drawing, I wanted to put the timer away and see how that would affect my drawing and see how it went. I also wanted to do a full blue drawing for both figures for this one. Something about the flow of her hands and the way he's holding space for her felt really nice dynamic to play for this drawing. So I really started off with kind of the motion that I feel between them and aligning the hips with the shoulders. And truthfully, I pictured a song when I was doing this one and the following drawings, and that helped me find a flow in the pencil and communicate that. It sounds funny, but it's true. For the next drawing, I misplaced the reference, so sorry about that. However, I found a reference of a swing dancers where she had a very expressive swing motion with her hips and her partner was just standing a bit behind. So this was a really fun one to focus on for the flow of the skirt and the positioning of the legs. I was also trying to see how I can exaggerate the size of her figure versus his figure and see how I can play with that composition on the page as well. So in my practice, I'll usually start off with some gestures and then maybe I'll flow into some storytelling and maybe some composition practice. So I just go with the flow and I see what reveals itself as I go on. Before making each drawing, I like to reflect on the others that I've done in my drawing session, and I really was craving to do some more, and this is a direct indication of as soon as you gain momentum, you kind of can't stop and you're super excited until you feel super satisfied in the end. As I progressed into the drawing practice, these last ones were more so like sketches, as though I had more shading and things going on here. I wasn't keeping track of time, however, I believe these took also about 10 to 15 minutes each. So I like to do this towards the end just to see how they've affected my drawings and my sketches. If you start out with some gestures, it's great to get the hand moving, and then if you want to just do some few sketches for yourself in your own time in the end, why not? I hope this video was a great reminder to show up to your practice, do things that you love, and in case you need a little guidance, I'm here with you and you're not alone. And when you're done with your drawings, take a look and just reflect on what you've done today. Be proud of yourself, give yourself credit, and most importantly, just remembered you showed up. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have some videos up on the screen if you want to keep on watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.